जामात्री योगीन्द्र पादरेखामयं सदा तदा यत्तात् सत्तादिं रामानुजमुनिं भजे लोकगुरुं गुरुभिः सह पूर्वैः कुरकुलोत्तमदासमुदारं श्रीनगपत्यभिरामवरेशौ दीप्रशयान गुरुं च भजेऽहं लोकाचार्याय गुरवे कृष्णपादस्य सूनवे संसारभोगिसन्दष्ट जीवजीवातवे नमः लोकाचार्यकृते लोकहिते वचनभूषणे तत्त्वार्थदर्शिनो लोके तन्निष्ठाश्च सुदुर्लभाः जगदाचार्य रचिते वचनभूषणे तत्त्वज्ञान तन्निष्ठां देहिनाथ यतीन्द्रमे Pillilokacharya, out of his great compassion, composed this beautiful grantham named SrIvachana Divya Shastram. In this Rahasya Grantham, Pillilokacharya comprehensively identifies the principles which every Sri Vaishnava must know. 6 important principles are said to be explained in 6 sections in this beautiful Grantham. पुरुषकार वैभवं साधनस्य गौरवं तदधिकारिकृत्यम् अस्य सद्गुरूपसेवनं हरिदयां हैतुकीं गुरोरुपायताञ्चयो वचनभूषणे वदज्जगद्गुरुं तमाश्रये. That is a shokam, Taniyan, which is recited usually in the beginning of the Sri Vachanabhushana Parayanam. In this Taniyan, these 6 principles are highlighted. Purushakara Vaibhavam is greatness of Sri Mahalakshmi Pirati who performs Purushakaram, is recommendation to unite the Jivatma with Paramatma. Sadhanasya Gauravam is the greatness of bhagavAn who is the upAyam. bhagavAn is always the upAyam to get the ultimate goal. He is the means and of course he is the end also. kAryam to bhagavAn is the end goal. Tadadhikari Krityam is the third principle which is explained in this third section which we are right now going through. Adhikari Krityam means what is to be done by the prapanna. Prapanna means one who is surrendered, one who accepts bhagavAn as upayam. He is known as prapanna, who is performed sharanagati or prapaththi. So what is his conduct? How he should behave? That is explained in the third section. And then asya sadguru pasevanam, serving the acharya who is fully situated in this upayam, bhagavān as upayam, and he is also teaching it to others. Such acharya should be served by the sishyas. That is explained in the fourth section. Haridayam Ahetukim is Bhagavan's mercy being unconditional, costless. That is explained in the fifth section. And finally, Gururupaya that Guru himself is the upayam and upayam. That is explained in the final section, sixth section. Now we are into third section. In that, Pillilokacharya is explaining about prapaththi, how the prapannas should be, and in context of that he is also explaining what are the other upayams and what are all the defects for other upayams, so that this prapanna will never engage in those other upayams and fully depend on bhagavān as the upayam. We saw up to 133rd sutram where many of the defects of other upayams were highlighted until that particular sutram. Now, from the 134th sutram, which we are going to see today, the greatness of prapaththi is going to be explained first. This section, this particular third section, is a very lengthy section. It covers many different aspects. In that, after explaining the defects of other upayams, especially Bhakti Yogam is considered as the prime candidate among the other upayams because Bhakti Yogam is greatly celebrated, but it has certain defects such as being Swarupa Virodham, contrary to the dependent nature of the Jivatma. He cannot engage in self-effort to attain something. And then Pala Visadrishatvam, that is, Bhakti Yogam, which is performed by the Jivatma, is very insignificant compared to the result he is getting, that is, eternal kainkariam to bhagavAn. That is a very great benefit in comparison to the activity which was performed by Jivatma in the name of Bhakti Yogam. And then Dushkaratvam, very difficult to perform. This Bhakti Yogam is not very easy to perform. One should be very knowledgeable about Ashtanga Yogam, and then one must perform Yaga Yagyams, one must perform various different activities, and also one must continue this for many births, not just in one birth, so that finally his Bhakti Yogam culminates into the ultimate result. So these are many different defects of Bhakti Yogam which were highlighted. Now, Pillai is moving on to the next topic, which is what are the greatness of prapaththi. Prapaththi is the act of accepting bhagavAn as the upAyam. So prapaththi itself is not the upAyam, but it is just a natural disposition of the Jivatma to accept bhagavAn as the upAyam. Jivatma being totally subservient to bhagavAn, once he realizes his position, he will naturally say that bhagavAn is the means for me to attain him. So that realization and that acceptance is only known as prapaththi. It is not an independent upayam in any way. So here in this particular sutram also, even though prapaththi upayam is mentioned, prapaththi is said as an upayam, it is only a definition. It is only a nomenclature, but it is not really the upayam. Bhagavan is the real upayam. That is the definition of, actual definition of prapaththi is accepting bhagavan as upayam. Hence, it is only a nomenclature here that prapaththi is an upayam. Just like Bhakti Yogam is said as upayam, even though even in Bhakti Yogam, Bhagavan is the one who grants the ultimate result. Here, prapaththi is just an act of accepting Bhagavan as upayam, but it is not the real upayam. Hence, this prapaththi is distinct from all other upayams. So, this prapathti's greatness is going to be explained in this section. Let us see the sutrams. First, we will see Mamnigal's introduction. We are saying the meanings of SrIvachana bhUshaNam with the help of Manawar Mamnigal's detailed Vyakyanam, where Mamnigal beautifully brings out all these principles in a very clear manner. With the help of that only we are going through these meanings. In every sutram, Mamnigal gives an introduction where he gives the context of the particular sutram. Let us see this particular sutram's 134th sutram's introduction first. Now, after Pillai explains all the defects in upayantarams, prapakantarams, upayam, prapakam, sadhanam, all of these imply the process, the way through which Bhagavan can be attained. So now there is a question. You have explained all the defects of many defects of upayantarams, such as karma yogam, jnana yogam, bhakti yogam, and so on. Now there is a question: is there no defect for prapaththi? For that question, Pillai is answering in the 134th sutram. PrapathyupAyaththukku ikkuRRangaL onrum illai. This means for prapathyupayam, the process of sharanagati, prapaththi, these defects are not there. That is the simple explanation. These defects include svarupa virodham, phala visadrishatvam, phala vilambam, there is delay in getting the result, difficulty in performing the activity, and so on. So many defects are there. These defects are not there for prapaththi upayam, says Pillai. That means there is the aforementioned defects are not there for prapaththi. That is what is being explained here. That means there may be other defects, but this particular defect is not. These defects are not there. The listed defects are not there, says Pillai. Mamnigal explains the particular aspect in the commentary. We'll see here. So Mamnigal's commentary. Now, ikkuRRangaL means these defects. These defects include Swarupa Virodham, that is, Jivatma is Paratantra, hence it is contrary to engage in self-effort. Bhakti Yoga means there is self-effort. The individual has to perform some activity which will lead to uh, ultimate result. So that is one defect, that is one limitation. And then there is Pala Visadrishatvam. The result is not matching the activity performed by Jivatma. And then there is Kala Vilambam, delay in the result. Bhakti Yoga have to be performed for many births sometimes. So there is possibility of extending the delay further. And then Dushkaratvam, up to Dushkaratvam, the 133rd Sutram identified Dushkaratvam. That is very difficult to perform. Yaga yajnas have to be done. Body has to be troubled. That is, one has to fast, one has to do many different tapasya and so on. So there is difficulty in performing the bhakti yogam. Particular defects. That is what are highlighted here. Whatever was explained in the previous sutrams, those defects, they are highlighted here by Pillai. onRum illai means these defects are not there. Clearly, none of those defects are applicable here. Now, by saying ikkuRRangaL, these defects, that means there is possibility of other defects. Other defects here, there is one defect which can be identified. That is what is being identified by Mamnigal here. He says there is one defect, that is, while prapaththi is not the upayam, superficially, after performing prapaththi, one gets the acceptance from bhagavAn. Hence, he may think that prapaththi is the upayam. Because of my surrender only, bhagavAn granted the result. That concept may arise. That superficial understanding may arise. That is a defect in prapaththi also. But all other defects are not there. And that defect will also go away if one has clarity. One looks at the definition of prapaththi clearly, then one will understand. Tvameva upaya bhuto me bhava prarthanamati iti sharanagati. Praying to bhagavAn to remain as our upayam, that is what is sharanagati. So definition of prapaththi sharanagati itself says that bhagavAn is the upayam. Hence, when superficially looked at, it may be appearing that only after performing prapaththi I have been accepted by bhagavAn. Hence, this prapaththi is the upayam. That confusion may arise, but that can also be eliminated once the individual has clear understanding of prapaththi. So, all other defects will not be applicable for prapaththi, says Pillai, and Mamnigal explained that in this particular commentary. Let us see next sutram. 135th sutram. Now, Mamnigal's introduction here. These defects are not there. To explain that clearly, to reveal that clearly, Pillai is explaining the aspects such as this prapaththi being swarupa uchitam, that is apt for the jivatma's true nature, and up to sukaratvam, that is very easy to do. Prapaththi is very easy to do because it is just a mind level activity. One has to just accept that bhagavān is protecting us. Bhagavān is the protector and we are totally depending on him. That acceptance is only expected. Nothing more is expected from the jivatma. Hence, because by highlighting these aspects, the defects which were said to be not present for prapaththi will be clearly explained. That is Mamnigal's introduction. Let us see the sutram. Athma yAthAthmya gyAna kAryam AgaiyAlE svarUpaththukku uchithamumAy vENdA engiRapadiyE nivruththi sAdhyam AgaiyAlE sukaramumAy irukkum. So here Pillai is saying, because this prapaththi is a kAryam. KAryam means effect or result. Karanam means cause. KAryam means effect. So this prapaththi is an effect of realization of the true nature of the self. So that knowledge that bhagavAn is the Lord and we are servitors, we are totally dependent on Him, that will lead to prapaththi naturally, that we should be surrendered to such bhagavAn. Hence, it is because it is an outcome of realization of the true nature of the self, it will be apt for the true nature of the self. It will be swarupa uchitam. For the swarupam, true nature, it will be apt because it is just a realization based on the understanding of the true nature. So that is the first point. And because Alvar says, sitravenda, don't struggle, don't become nervous about doing so many things. Just depend on bhagavAn totally and relax. That is what is the meaning of sitravenda. Because Alvar is saying, you don't need to do many activities to please bhagavAn. Just total surrender at the mind level is sufficient. Because of that, this is nivruththi sadhyam. That is, by giving up all the other upayams, this prapaththi becomes established. Prapaththi is nothing but giving up all other upayams and accepting that bhagavAn is the upayam. So because it is accomplished by abandoning all other activities and totally surrendering to bhagavAn, this will be very easy to do because there is nothing to do. When there is nothing to do, just acceptance of bhagavAn as the protector is the only thing which is expected. How easy it can get. That is the easiest thing one can do. Just we have to accept that bhagavAn is the protector and we have to abide by him. That is all we have to do. Hence, it is very, very easy to do. Hence, it is not difficult like Bhakti Yogam or Karma Yogam or Jnana Yogam, where one has to do so many activities to fulfill that particular yogam. Bhakti Yogam will be fulfilled only when all of those activities are performed properly. If there are defects in the activities, if there are misses, if they are not done properly, then we will have to do atonement and we have to do again and again the same karma has to be repeated. So all of these troubles are not there in prapaththi. Hence, it is very easy to do. That is the simple meaning of this particular sutram. Let us see Mamnigal's commentary. Athma yAthAthmya jnana kAryam. What is that? What does that mean? In Tirumantram, we have to refresh a little bit about what we discussed in mumukshupadi. Previously, we have discussed in mumukshupadi in English as well. We have to just refresh the principles which are explained there in Namahpadam, that is, in the second word, the Bhagavad Atyanta Paratantriyam, that is, total dependence on Bhagavan, totally expecting Bhagavan's actions is highlighted in Namahpadam because Maha means for me, Na Maha means not for me. I am only existing for Bhagavan. I am fully guided by bhagavAn. I am fully controlled by bhagavAn. So when one is totally patantra to bhagavAn, then naturally one will go to the stage of totally surrendering to bhagavAn and accepting bhagavAn as the upayam. Because it is natural to the jivatma's swarupam, that is why it is said as svarUpaththukku uchitam. Uchitam. That means for the paratantriyam, which is the true nature of the jivatma, this Sharanagati is an apt means. This Sharanagati is very apt. Sitravenda. Now, Sitravenda is from Alvar's Pasuram. Sitravenda Sindipe Amayum. This is in thiruvAimozhi, where Namalvar is saying, do not worry about doing so many different activities to please Bhagavan. Just relax, just accept that Bhagavan is the protector and be surrendered to him. That is explained in that particular pasuram. So based on this, it is very clear that one need not do any activity as upayam. When something has to be done as upayam, then one will have the fear. We have to do it properly. We have to do it in the with the prerequisites and all those conditions. If one has to do the same activity without any such condition, then one will naturally do. That is why bhakti will be done by prapanna also. Even the surrendered person will have bhakti, will have love towards Bhagavan, will do service, kainkariams, all of that. But none of that will be done as upayam. Hence, that fear will not be there. It will just be out of love. But when there is something as a precondition, if you do bhakti, you will get the result. Then there will be fear, and there will be one will be very, very careful in doing what he is doing. Then that love factor will subdue, and the duty factor will overcome. That will be more. But when that upayam concept is gone, it has to be done as service only, as bhakti, as kainkariam only. Then it will be a natural activity, and there will be no such fear or other aspects. Now it is said nivruththi sAdhyam AgaiyAlE sukaramumAy irukkum. That means beautiful statement is quoted here. It is from our purvacharya vyakyanams. Bhagavat pravritti virodhi swapravritti nivruththi prapatthi. This is a beautiful statement. This is the definition of prapaththi. Bhagavat pravritti virodhi. For Bhagavan to act towards helping us, what is the hurdle? Bhagavat pravritti, the action of Bhagavan. Virodhi, the hurdles for that is swapravritti. Our engagement, our effort, self-effort is the hurdle for Bhagavan's effort. If we say, I will try on my own and reach you, then Bhagavan will say, okay, you do that. I will step back and wait for you to come to me. So our effort will become his effort. Now this swapravritti nivruththi, if we abandon our effort, swapravritti nivruththi means giving up those self-effort, that is prapaththi. That is prapaththi. Just abandoning our efforts and totally depending on Bhagavan's effort is prapaththi. As said in this, because this is a nivruththi sadhyam, this is an activity which is accomplished by abandoning all other upayams and just doing everything as kainkariam. It is very, very it is very, very easy to do. That is explained here by Mamnigal. And further, Mamnigal highlights whatever previous defects, whatever defects which were highlighted for Bhakti Yogam and all other upayams previously, those will be automatically addressed if we address these points. That is, apayatva, bhayajanakatva, shokajanakatva, ahankara mishrateya, nishidvatva, avadyatva, avadyakaratvangal, swarupa viroditva. So, previously we saw many defects of Bhakti Yogam. That is, all the other upayams being apayam. Apayam means danger. If we engage in other upayam after performing Sharanagati, that will lead to Swarupa Virodham. It will cause dangerous results. That is, Bhagavan will withdraw from helping us if he sees that we are also trying. And then Bhaya Janakatvam, we saw Pramanam for other upayams being for the fear. And then Shoka Janakatvam, other upayams being cause for shokam. Mashuchaha, Bhagavan says, don't worry. That means there is something to worry. So we saw that. And then ahankara mishrateya nishiddhatvam. Ahankara mishrateya, because there is a factor of ahankaram, individual's pride that I am doing this, then it is leading to nishiddham. That is, it's a lowly or forbidden act. And then avadyakaratvangal, it is leading to avadhyam, bad effect. All of these are because of Swarupa Virodham. If we do what is apt for the Swarupam, then these things will not arise. Only because Bhakti Yogam is contrary to the true nature of Jivatma, when we engage, it leads to fear, it leads to sorrow, it leads to ahankaram, it leads to so many different things. All of these things identified here, then avadya karatvam, all of these are because it is Swarupa Virodham. Bhakti Yogam is Swarupa Virodham. So, the fact that Swarupa Virodham is not present for prapaththi, all other defects will disappear. Similarly, pala visadrishatvam, is another defect which was highlighted. That Bhakti Yogam, we saw in that Sutram, Rajyathukku Elumichambadam polayum, Ratnathukku Palakare polayum, just like exchanging seashell and getting back a priceless, very precious gemstone, or offering lemon and getting kingdom from the king. So there, those were highlighted as the example for pala visadrishatvam, that is unmatching result. The effort does not match the outcome. That defect cannot be said for prapaththi, because prapaththi is not even the upayam. Bhagavan is the upayam and bhagavan is the upayam. So by performing surrender to bhagavan, bhagavan himself is the one who grants the goal, one who grants the result. Hence, upayam and upayam are same. So there is no visadrishatvam. It is matching. Bhagavan is upayam, bhagavan is upayam. So it is matching directly. So that particular issue is also not there. And then by saying all of these, that it is svarupa uchitam, because it is matching for the swarupam, all of these other defects will also naturally not be present for prapaththi, says Mamnigal here. And sukaratvam, because it is nivruththi sadhyam, that is, we don't have to do any activity as upayam, hence it will be very easy to perform. The act of prapaththi is just accepting bhagavan as upayam. That is very very easy to do, anyone can accept. While the principle is difficult to understand, that without doing any efforts, Bhagavan is going to give the result for us. That principle will be very difficult to understand, because in the worldly affairs, we are not used to that. We are always doing, if we do work for 1 hour, we will get the result for 1 hour. If we work for 8 hours, we will get the benefit for 8 hours. So we are always used to seeing something we do and something else we get back, they are being at par. But in this case of prapaththi, the concept of just surrendering will get the ultimate result, ultimate benefit is difficult to understand. But the underlying principle is, by accepting Bhagavan as the upayam, he is the one who is granting everything. So there is no issue in understanding that as well. And because of this particular concept, that we are only accepting Bhagavan as the upayam, the sukaratvam, that is easily being able to do this upayam, perform this upayam, that is also present here. So the difficulty in performing the activity is not there, says Mamnigal in this manner. So all of these defects, that is apayatvam, भयजनकत्वं, शोकजनकत्वं, अहङ्कारमिश्रतया निषिद्धत्वं, avadhyakaratvam, all of these, and then pala visadrishatvam and dushkaratvam, all of these defects are not there for prapaththi, says Pralokacharya and Mamnigal in this particular sutram. Next is 136th sutram. Mamnigal gives an introduction. Now, if one accepts that Bhagavan is the upayam and we don't have to do anything, can the person, can the individual, can the prapanna just remain quiet? Should he not do anything to please Bhagavan? That is the question. For that, Pillalokacharya is answering in this question, saying, Purna vishayam AgaiyAlE, perumaikkIdAgap pachchaiyida oNNAdhu. We already saw that Bhagavan is Purna. Purna means one who is complete in all different ways. We also saw that one should surrender to one who has all the qualities in full, and we saw that Archavataram is the apt place for surrender for the Jivatma. We saw all of that in the beginning of SrIvachana bhUshaNam. In the beginning of the third prakaranam, in the beginning of the third section, we saw all of that while talking about prapaththi. Now that purti, that Bhagavan being complete is an indication that nobody can offer anything to him matching his greatness. If we have to give something to Bhagavan, he should be lacking in that. But Bhagavan is complete in all different ways. So there is no way one can offer something to bring satisfaction, to bring joy in Bhagavan, because he is already joyful, he is already complete in all different ways. Because of this reason, even if we like to do something, offer something to Bhagavan, there is nothing that we can offer matching his greatness. That is the simple meaning. Mamnigal is explaining that in the Vyakyanam, in his commentary. We see in the world that if someone is helping us, let us say someone is helping us by giving some money when we are in need, what we can do is we can find out what they are lacking or what they desire. So some person may need physical assistance, some persons may need um, some emotional assistance. So in return of their favor, we can do something back to them and we can bring satisfaction in them, because they are lacking in that particular aspect. They need some help in that particular aspect. So when they help us, we see that they have helped us in this particular way, and to bring satisfaction to those who helped us, to the person who helped us, we can do something which they need, and they will become happy and they will become satisfied. But Bhagavan is avapta samasta kama. All desires are fulfilled for Bhagavan. He has nothing left to be accomplished. Because of this, the individual, the prapanna, cannot offer anything to satisfy such Bhagavan. So that is explained in this particular sutram, that is 136th sutram. Now 137th sutram, Mamnigal's introduction. So Mamni is raising a question here. So in that case, because he is complete in all different ways, so is there nothing which will bring joy to him? That is the question being asked. And for that, Pillalokacharya is answering 137th sutram. Abhimukya Suchaka Matratile Santosham Belayum. Abhimukya Suchakam. That is, Bhagavan can be satisfied in one particular way. We can bring joy in the mind of Bhagavan in one particular way. That is, by showing our favorable nature, by expressing our favorable nature towards him. By doing that, Bhagavan will become joyful. That is the only thing which can bring joy to him. We cannot bring joy to him doing any offering like physical, monetary, or any other offering. By doing any or praising him, there are different types of offering to Bhagavan. By doing none of that, we can bring satisfaction to him. But by showing our favorable nature towards him, by showing that we are willing to accept him as everything, that will bring joy to Bhagavan. That is the simple meaning of this sutram. Mamnigal's commentary. As the Jivatma has been go away from Bhagavan since time immemorial, as said in Yadhanam Patti Ningum Bharadate Yerittu Kondu, that is, in Thiruvāimozhi explained in few different places already, the Athma is finding one reason or the other to move away from Bhagavan since time immemorial. There is no beginning for Atma in this samsara. Atma has been in samsara forever. Atma has no creation date. It is not that Atma was created in this particular date, or it is not that Atma was somewhere else, it was brought into samsara in this particular date. That is not the case. Atma has been in this samsara forever. Bhagavan has been trying to help Atma forever. Now, at this particular stage, the Jivatma has, as a result of Bhagavan's constant efforts, is now accepting Bhagavan as everything. And he is turning his face towards Bhagavan, and he is ready to accept Bhagavan as the upAyam. Just seeing that, Bhagavan will become satisfied. He will think, I have been trying to bring Jivatma, this particular Jivatma, all along to my fold, and he has been running away from me. but now he has turned towards me. That will bring, that is something which gives joy to bhagavAn. That is explained here. So this bhagavAn will become very joyful, saying that the jivatma is favorable towards him. That is the main happiness which we can give, jivatmas can give to bhagavAn, says Mamnigal in the commentary for 137th Sutram. Now 138th Sutram, Mamnigal's introduction. Even when Bhagavan is complete in all different ways, instead of such completeness making us stop doing kainkariam to Bhagavan, it will only instigate us further to engage in kainkariam to him. That is the point being explained in the 138th Sutram, Purti, Kaivangade Mel Vidungaikku Hetu Vittanai. It is actually explained in two different ways by Manavar Mamnigal in the commentary. Two different explanations are given. Purti, that is, Purti is completeness. This Purti of Bhagavan, it will make the Jivatma not withdraw, but rather it will make the Jivatma serve Bhagavan with great joy, thinking that there is nothing Bhagavan expecting from me. There is nothing that Bhagavan is expecting from me. So whatever I do, he is going to accept happily. So let me do something to please him. That is one explanation. The second explanation is this Purti of completeness of Bhagavan will facilitate Bhagavan to pursue us vehemently, rigorously. He will not stop thinking that the Jivatma cannot do anything for him. Rather, he will try to work with the Jivatma and try to get Jivatma to his fold constantly. That is because he is complete. He does not expect anything from anyone. He just needs to help the Jivatma. So, this Purti will work, this completeness of Bhagavan will work both for Bhagavan as well as the individual Jivatma to engage in the uplifting of the Jivatma. That is the explanation for this particular sutram. Mamnigal's commentary. So this particular avapta samasta kamatvam, that is what is Purti is. Avapta samasta kamatvam means one who is full in all different ways. He does not have any unfulfilled desire. That is what is Purti, completeness is. When a Jivatma comes to surrender to Bhagavan, at that time, the Jivatma need not worry. Oh, he is so great, I cannot fulfill his any desire. I cannot do anything to bring joy to him because he is already totally joyful. So thinking that he will, this Jivatma may go away, but that will not happen because the Jivatma will rather think like this. Because he is complete, I don't need to do anything extraordinary to fulfill Bhagavan's expectation. Whatever I offer, he will be satisfied with it. So let me engage with Bhagavan desirously. That is what will happen when the Jivatma understands the completeness of Bhagavan clearly. That is one explanation. Second explanation is Bhagavan's Purti, Bhagavan's completeness will make him accept the Jivatma really happily instead of withdrawing from the Jivatma. Because if he has some expectation, sometimes the Jivatma may not be able to fulfill his expectation. Hence, he may have to abandon that Jivatma without having to go through all of that. There is nothing Bhagavan expects. He is only expecting the favorable attitude of the Jivatma. Hence, without having to withdraw his help towards towards Jivatma, Bhagavan will happily pursue the Jivatma and try to help the Jivatma. So, this Purti, completeness of Bhagavan, works both in favor of Bhagavan and Jivatma. That is explained by Mamnigal here in this particular sutram, that is 138th sutram. Now 139th sutram. There is a question here. Is there any place where Bhagavan has become pleased just in getting very minor service from anyone? Has he become pleased by very simple acts? That is the question. For that, Palli Lokacharya is giving the answer in the 139th Sutram by quoting three pramanams. Two pramanams from Divya Prabandham and one pramanam from Mahabharatam. Mahabharatam can be considered as Panchamo Vedam, that is fifth Vedam. Hence, it can be there is one Samskrita Vedanta Pramanam and two Dravida Vedanta Pramanams. And in this also we can observe that the Tamil Pramanams are placed in first and last, and in between Samskrita Pramanam is placed. With this, we can understand that irrespective of the language, the message is more important as long as it is authentic. That is explained here. So whether it is Tamil or Sanskritam, the Pramanam is a Pramanam. That is one principle. And also we can observe that by showing two Pramanams from Divya Prabandham, we can understand the greatness of Divya Prabandham, that it is more valuable proof of the concept. That is also shown by having two Pramanams from Divya Prabandham. Let us see the Sutram first. Patram Pushpam Anyat Purnat Purivaduvam Pugai Puve. Patram Pushpam. Sorry, I did a small mistake here. Two Samskrita Pramanams are given, Patram Pushpam and Anyat Purnat. Patram Pushpam is from Bhagavad Gita. Anyat Purnat is from Mahabharatam. Based on these two, there is the third Pramanam, which is Divya Prabandham. One Pramanam of Divya Prabandham is sufficient to explain what is explained in two Pramanams of Sanskritam. So that makes us understand the greatness of Tamil Prabandhams and Tamil Pramanams. Alva's Pasrams are so valuable that can be understood here. Either way, we can say having more Tamil Pramanams or more Samskrita Pramanams. Either way, all of these constitute valuable proofs for the concept being explained here. So Patram Pushpam is from Bhagavad Gita, where Bhagavan says Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. In that shlokam, Bhagavan is saying whether a leaf, whether a flower, whether a fruit or water, whatever the bhakta, devotee offers to me, that will bring satisfaction to me. I only see the bhakti in that. That is Bhagavan's own words. And then Anyat Purnat. Anyat Purnat is from Mahabharatam, where instruction given by Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra. When Dhritarashtra tries to say that when Krishna comes as a messenger, we'll try to convince him, we will buy him by giving some land and other materials and try to bring Krishna to our side. At that time, Sanjaya says, you cannot buy him through materials. You have to give him love and then make him towards us, says Sanjaya. From that also we can understand that Bhagavan cannot be purchased by any material, but only through love he can be acquired. And finally, Parivadilisane Padi, in that Padigam, Purivaduvum Pugai Puve. Even one can burn some dry leaves to represent incense sticks for Bhagavan. That will also satisfy Bhagavan. That is a pramanam quoted here. So these three pramanams highlight the principle of Bhagavan is being complete and he doesn't expect anything other than love from the bhaktas, from the devotees. Let us see Mamnigal's commentary. Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upahritam ashnami prayatatmanaha. In this particular shlokam, Bhagavan is saying whether one is offering a leaf, one is offering a flower or a fruit or a cup of water, one who is giving with bhakti towards me, one who is offering these, anyone, I will accept that because I am avapta samastakam and I fulfilled desires. I just see his love, how emotional he is, and how lovingly he gives the particular offering, and I accept it. Just as much as emotions he is having while giving, I will have as much emotions while accepting the same. Says bhagavAn in that particular shlokam. Tatram anyat purnat apam kumbhat anyat padhavane janat anyat kushala samprashnan nache chadi janardana. So here, when bhagavAn goes as a messenger, Mamunigal beautifully narrates this particular incident. It's a historical incident, so he is explaining it beautifully, bringing the actual incident in front of our eyes. When Krishna goes as the messenger, he goes as the Duta. At that time, Dhritarashtra says to Sanjaya, we will give some kingdom to Krishna, will please him in that way. He will give him some wealth and he will come to our side by that, says Dhritarashtra. Saying that, Sanjaya, who knows the mischief, the cunningness of Dhritarashtra, and tells Dhritarashtra, don't think about Krishna in that manner. He is not like that. He cannot be purchased by anything. His greatness is not limited to what you can offer to him. But he can be convinced, he can be acquired by us by doing this. Anyone will be drinking water. We can just take that water, drinking water, pour it in a pot, and place it at the entrance. There is the practice of giving Purna Kumbham when elders or sannyasis or Bhagavan visits our place. So instead of even making a proper Purna Kumbham, just take the drinking water, put it in a pot, place it in the entrance. That will be satisfying for Bhagavan. That will be satisfying for Krishna. Similarly, when a guest comes to our home, we have to request the guest to freshen up first because they would have traveled long distance. To make him feel fresh, we should ask them to wash their hands, wash their feet, and then freshen up. That is a custom. So that is to be done even in Samanya Shastram. Basic culture, it is emphasized that we should be doing this. One can do just that to Krishna when he comes. And then Kushala Prashnat, Kushala Samprashnan. That is when someone comes to our home, we have to inquire, how is your health? How is your family? This normal inquiry about health and family members and everything, that has to be done by anyone. If we do that, that will bring joy in Bhagavan's heart. So because all we have to do is just these things, not offer him great wealth, not offer him um, great jewels and so on. Bhagavan is not expecting those things. First, he is expecting our love. Of course, we have to do everything grand for Bhagavan. We have to offer whatever we have. But that is not his expectation because he is already complete. But if we do these with bhakti, these with devotion, that itself will satisfy with Bhagavan, says um, Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra in this particular case. Sanjaya is a great devotee of Bhagavan. He is a disciple of Vyasa and he has got all the knowledge acquired from Vyasa. Hence, he is a very knowledgeable and very devoted person, one who is very, very affectionate towards Bhagavan. Bhagavan is also very, very affectionate towards Sanjaya. So that is Anyat Purnat Pramanam. Then Parivadili Sane Padi Purivadum Pugai Puve. In that particular pasuram, actually Mamunigal here beautifully quotes Nanjiyar's Vyakyanam as it is, where Nanjiyar is saying Bhagavan is Heya Pratyanika. He is not, he is abode of all auspiciousness and he is opposite to all defects. Because of that nature of Bhagavan being Heya Pratyanika, being opposite to all defects, there is nothing one can do other than glorifying Bhagavan, just like how Nityasuris are constantly glorifying Bhagavan by singing Samaganam. One has to be doing that. But to reach that stage in Paramapadam, it will take Bhagavan's mercy. So until that time, one should not just remain quiet, considering that one is not capable to do anything. Within his capacity, one should do whatever little service to Bhagavan, and Bhagavan will accept that service, that offering very joyfully, even if one has to go collect some dry leaves from under a tree and put it in front of Bhagavan and light it up. That will be considered as very fragrant incense sticks by Bhagavan, Dupam by Bhagavan. So that is the nature of Bhagavan. Alvar himself explains how easy it is to worship Bhagavan in this particular decade, Parivadiri Padi, in that particular decade, Bhagavan is explained as a very, very easily worshipable, easily approachable person. That is this 139th Sutram, where Pramanam for Bhagavan's easy approachability and Bhagavan's completeness will only make an individual approach him and do service boldly. That is explained in this 139th Sutram. Now 140th Sutram. Now from 136th Sutram, that is Purna vishayam AgaiyAlE perumaikkIdAgap. From there until up to 139th Sutram, these were explained in context of prapaththi, but they are not directly related to prapaththi. They are related to Bhagavan's greatness. After saying that, Pillai is now going back to explaining the greatness of prapaththi, because that was the original context. Prapathi's greatness to be explained is the context of this particular section. But in between, he explained the greatness of Bhagavan also and how complete he is. After completing that particular section, again, Pillai is going back to greatness of prapaththi. Now he is explaining another distinguished nature of prapaththi, another special nature of prapaththi. This 140th Sutram, புல்லை காட்டி அழைத்து புல்லை இடுவாரை போலே பல சாதனங்களுக்கு பேதம் இல்லை. This is another greatness of prapaththi. That is, a worldly example is first given. In the example here, a cow, to attract the cow towards us, we usually have some grass or some green leaves in our hand. We show that which is liked by the cow. So when we show that, the cow comes to us. And then we offer that same thing to the cow. Now here, the means and the goal are the same. The means is the grass which we had in our hand. The end is feeding the grass to the cow. So means and end are the same. Similarly, here also, while surrendering, Bhagavan is the upAyam, and after surrendering, when we are given the result at that time, serving Bhagavan is the ultimate goal. So there is no difference between phalam and sadhanam. Phalam means end result, sadhanam means the upayam, the means. So there is no difference between those two. That is explained here in this particular sutram, Mamnigal's commentary. So he is explaining this particular example. When we invite a cow, at that time we invite the cow near us using the grass in our hand. By having the grass, the cow will be attracted towards us and it will come towards us. And after getting the cow close to us, we offer that same grass to the cow. Here the palam and the sadhanam, the result and the process, both are the same. Both are the grass. Everything is related to the grass. Similarly, bhagavAn is the great Lord. In case of bhagavAn, to reach him, bhagavAn himself is the upAyam. So we are pursuing bhagavAn as upAyam, and finally we are reaching bhagavAn as the upAyam, the end goal. Because of this, the prapya, prapaka, upaya, sadhana, sadhya, aikyam, that is, the unison is there, the harmony is there. Both sadhanam, process, and sadhyam, end goal, both are the same here. So that is a distinguished feature of prapaththi. That is the greatness of prapaththi. 141st Sutram. How is that distinguished nature of prapaththi advantageous? What is the advantage of having the same upayam and same upayam? That is the question. For that, in 141st Sutram, Pililokacharya is explaining AgaiyAlE irukkum. Because of this fact, that is, the means and end being the same, it will be very joyful. The act prapaththi is very joyful, says Pililokacharya in this particular sutram. Mamnigal's commentary, it's a very brief commentary at first, and then he explains another viewpoints. We'll see that first. So because sadhya vastu is the sadhanam, bhagavan is the end goal, he is the attained goal, but he is also the means. Because of that, the prapaththi, that is this sharana varanam, bhagavan's upayam, bhagavan being upayam, is accepted by the jivatma. Instead of this being a rule, it will be a very naturally enjoyable and acceptable process, and hence it is sukarupam, it is enjoyable. Mamnigal first. Now he is giving an explanation for 140th and 141st Sutram together, a different viewpoint. That is, another distinguished feature of prapaththi is being highlighted here. What is that? In that pullai kati adathu pullai, in the previous Sutram, it was said that the grass is used as the feature to attract the cow nearby, and the grass was fed to the cow. So both the means and end are the same. Similarly, here also, prapaththi means offering obeisances, accepting bhagavan as the means through obeisances, offering obeisances, whether it is physical or mental, mind level. In either case, the prapaththi, the act of accepting bhagavan as the upayam, that is namaha, that is performing sharanagati, that is the same end result one will get after reaching bhagavan also. How so? After reaching bhagavan, one will be saying namaha, namaha, I worship you, I worship you, I worship you constantly. So that is also offering obeisances, offering prayers, offering everything to bhagavan through that namaha. This namaha is nothing but the upayam also here. Bhagavan is the upayam. Accepting bhagavan is as the upayam is namaha. And finally, also after accepting, we will constantly be saying namaha, namaha, as it is said that Shvetadvipavasis, the residents of Shvetadvipam, will constantly be reciting namaha. They are in the mood of serving Bhagavan. They are not in the process of having Bhagavan as upayam still. They have crossed that level and reached the level of having Bhagavan as goal, upayam. So hence, when they say namaha, it is only as kAryam, not as upayam. But the namaha, that prapaththi itself, that you are my Lord, you are my only refuge, that is also indicated by namaha. So this prapaththi, which is said as sakritkritonjalihi, one time if I worship, Bhagavan will accept me. That is the greatness of anjali, that is the greatness of saying namaha and offering obeisances. Namaschakrur janardhanam. These two pramanams are highlighted, where it is said that this namaha, saying namaha or saying offering obeisances, that itself is considered as sharanagati. So initially this Anjali and offering obeisances. Anjali means joining the palms and performing like this. This Anjali or performing obeisances. These are all the prapaththi, and by this prapaththi, one is accepting Ishvara as the upayam. And after that, once we accept bhagavAn as the upayam, after that, whatever we do is kAryam. At that stage, Baddhanjali Puta Krishta Namaityeva Vadinaha. That is one pramanam which is quoted here. And then Kaigalalara Todudu Todudunnai. Vaigalum Matare Podhinri. In this Pasram, Alvar's Pasram also, it is said, Kaigalalara Todudu Todudu. I am constantly worshipping you by folding my hands and performing Anjali again and again. And I am becoming very joyful because of that. Baddhanjali Buddha Krishta Namaityev Adinaha. This is the act of Shvetadvipa Vasis, that is the residents of Shvetadvipam. There is a particular island known as Shvetadvipam. There, many residents, many great devotees of Bhagavan are residing. They will be constantly worshipping Bhagavan by performing Anjali. So, in these places, it is explained that these physical activities such as Anjali, offering full namaskarams, obeisances, these are all both upayam as well as upayam. So, because of this reason, pala sadhanangalukku bedamille. There is no difference between palam, that is the end goal, and sadhanam, the means. In this particular way, because the means is the same as end, this prapaththi will not be forced upon the jivatma, rather it will be a very desirous aspect for the jivatma to pursue, and jivatma will joyfully pursue it, says Mamnigal in this particular commentary. With this, we are completing the 141st sutram. After this 142nd sutram, from this sutram, we are going to start seeing the Siddhopaya Nishtha, his greatness. That is, one who is fully surrendered to Bhagavan and accepting Bhagavan as upayam. We are going to see that. We will see that on next Saturday. Alvar Thiruvadigalai Sharanam, Empermanar Thiruvadigalai Sharanam, Pillailokalai Sharanam, GR Thiruvadigalai Sharanam, GR Thiruvadigalai Sharanam. So that is, we will resume tomorrow. Tomorrow we won't have class at 12 noon, but we will class at 11 o'clock in the AM probably. It will be in Sri PerumaikkIdAgap Ramanuja Kootam. Whoever possible can come and attend live in the Ramanuja Kootam. That will be Vartamalai. That will be tomorrow's session. Tomorrow evening, most probably we may not have the class because Thiruvadarai celebrations will be there in the temple. I will inform. If possible, we will have the class. Maybe if we can start at 8 o'clock also, we'll just see either Sunday or Vyachanam, depending on the time availability. So I will keep you posted in the class, in the WhatsApp messages. We'll recite Pallandu. I'll complete the session. Pallandu, Pallandu, Pallayirattandu, Palakoti, Noorayiram, Dolmanivanna, Unsevadi Sabidari Kapu, Adiyom Modum, Nodum, Tirivindi, Ayiram, Pallandu, Ninula Marvin, Vargindra, Magayam, Plandu, Vadivan, Sodi, Valatrium, Sugarayam, Pallandu, Padapur, Pukumanagum, Apanja Sanyamum, Pallandu, Adiyam Ramandasan.